Everyone loves the Miata. We have a whole show about building one and you guys love it. But what if you don't want one? Right? Maybe you're 6'3". Maybe you need to carry more than just a backpack. Maybe your taste is just different. Well, you're in luck because we put together a list of amazing project cars that aren't a Miata. They're all lightweight, they're all super fun to drive, they're all super plentiful, they all have a lot of aftermarket support, big communities, and best of all, they're all affordable. So buckle up, buckaroo, fire up your Google machine. This is the D-List. Big old thank you to Upstart for sponsoring today's video. Listen, I know you're just like me, and we have a problem with owning too many broken cars. But we keep swiping that credit card, we keep buying part after part because I swear it'll run this time, Mom. Yeah, turbos are cool, but buying a house is cooler and being debt-free is way cooler. Well, thankfully, Upstart is here to help you guys. They aren't like other lenders because they know you are more than a credit score. Upstart rewards you based on your job history. You don't even have to worry about driving your broken car to a bank because it's all online. They offer loans from $1,000 all the way up to $50,000. And the best part is, once the loan is approved, most people get their money the very next business day. Not all applicants will qualify for the full amount. So free yourself from that credit debt and see why Upstart has over 6,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. Head over to upstart.com/donut to find out how low your Upstart rate can be. Now, back to the show.
Fox Body Mustang.
The Fox Body Mustang makes a great project car for one reason above all other reasons. Ford made over 2 million of them. There's a bunch of different body styles, trim levels, engines, and other options. You want a hatchback? Gotcha. You want a notchback? Gotcha. You want a hunchback? Sorry, bro, you're gonna have to go to freaking Notre Dame for that one. And it's a Ford. So the parts are shared across a bunch of different platforms, so the potential is astronomical. The one you want is the 5-liter V8, which is not a screamer out of the box, but it's got a ton of potential with just basic bolt-ons that you can buy for pretty cheap. My buddy Jacob has one. He lives in Canada. End of anecdote. The next car on this list is actually 3 cars, but it's also actually just one car because all 3 of those cars are the same. Laser Eclipse Challenge!
DSM triplets.
These triplets were the result of a joint partnership between Chrysler and Mitsubishi back in the late 80s called Diamond Star Motors, or DSM. Basically, they were doing the same thing that Toyota did with Subaru or that Toyota did with BMW, but they took it one step further and gave it a name. There are some sweet cars that came out of this partnership. I'm talking 3000 GT and Dodge Stealth. Those are the same car, but the Laser, Eclipse, and Talon are by far the best because of 5 little words. G63, baby, which is also the same engine that came in the freaking Evo. Now, when I was in high school, these were the cars that you didn't mess with. These things are so cheap to make fast, like you knew you were gonna lose a drag race. One time when I was in high school, I drove a totally stock 240 SX, and I had a girl in my car for one of the first times ever, and we pulled up next to these like 2 just like nerdy identical twins, which is ironic because they were driving an identical triplet car. And she leans out the window, she's like, "Y'all want a race?" And they just like in unison, just like look over, they go, "You'll lose." And I did. I knew I would. I was so embarrassed. Now, these are not attractive triplets, but you buy them for one reason, the same reason those twins bought them, to go fast. And they can handle a ton of boost. But the one thing you do have to look out for is a little thing called crank walk.
Go fast, you up the booze, look out for that crank walk. Woo, woo. Do that crank walk, boy. Do that crank walk, boy. You go fast, you up the booze, look out for that crank walk. Woo, woo. Do that crank walk, boy. Do that crank walk, boy.
But what is crank walk? Crank walk is premature thrust bearing failure. When the thrust bearings wear out, the crankshaft will walk back and forth, which will put a lot of stress on the bearings, which is not something that you want when you are pumping way more boost through a motor than the factory intended. This is really common with the 4G63 motors. You can do things about it. It's just something to be aware of.
Golf GTI.
Of all of the cars ever made, the Volkswagen Golf is one of the ones with the most aftermarket support ever. And it's because it's been around
Forever.
The other totally amazing thing about the Golf is that the VW culture and community, no matter how big or small your question is, there's gonna be a forum thread for you. In fact, a lot of big players in the automotive industry right now came from VW Vortex. Vin from Hoonigan, Brian Scotto from Hoonigan, Jason from Rotiform, Brian from Rotiform, Matt and Brad from 1552, Jamie Orr from Orchid Euro. I was on VW Vortex when I was 14 years old. Mark 1s and Mark 2s, that's the first and second gen Golfs, are gorgeous cars. And if you can find one, they're really cool. But my personal pick for this list is whatever GTI you can afford. I'd say go for a Mark 3, which is my personal favorite. I've owned about 16 of them, or a Mark 4. Both of those are relatively easy to find in pretty decent shape, especially if you live on the West Coast. Mods are still super cheap. Mark 5s are great. Mark 6s, Mark 7s, Mark 8s, they're all amazing. Get yourself GTI, super duper fun car. And just like the Miata, these things are meant to be driven and enjoyed. In fact, I can only think of one car which is meant to be driven and enjoyed even more than this one, and that is
Honda Civic.
they have made
11.
generations of Civic. So it's safe to say that there's a Civic out there for everybody. There's only 4 Miatas. The math speak for itself. Yep, checks out. 10 is more than 4. Therefore, you really can't go wrong with any generation of a Civic. And if you, a quick Google search will, provide a cool modified example of all of them. My personal favorite, and honestly it's probably based on my vintage, is the 6th gen. This is the one I grew up with. This is the one my friend Jared had. You got your EK hatchback, which I think is beautiful, and then you got the EM1 Coupe, which is amazing. The SI for that generation is a coupe only, and I think it's one of the coolest looking compact cars ever made. But whatever Civic you get, invest in some anti-theft stuff. I'm talking kill switch, removable steering wheel, alarm system, because these things are cool, they're easy to steal, they're easy to take apart, and a lot of people want the parts, so they do get stolen a lot. If you pay attention to the used car market at all, you probably know that the Porsche 911 is super duper freaking expensive. No matter what year, no matter what spec, no matter what condition, you're not gonna spend any less than dozens of thousands of dollars. And let's be honest, guys, not all of us are Magnus Walkers. What if we want a P car, but you only have like $5,000? What if you want a Porsche, but you only have $1,000? Believe it or not, there's a P car for you, the Porsche 944. The 944 is literally the opposite of a 911. 911 engine in the back, 944 engine in the front, 911 air-cooled, 944 water-cooled, 911 face-melting expensive, 944 surprisingly cheap for now. We actually found one on Facebook this weekend for $1,000 and we almost bought it. Max, Jeremiah, Joe, Joey, Nolan, me, we all pledged $200 to pitch in and buy it until we realized that nobody has the room and there's a hard no project cars rule at the new office. So we didn't do it, but we could have. And I know you're all thinking, nothing's more expensive than a cheap Porsche. And you're right, but the good news here is that the 944 is pretty reliable. And also, Porsche made over 160,000 of them. And over half of those ended up in the States. So there is a lot of parts out there if you need them. But if this is your project car, you might want to engine swap it anyway. You can do LS, or our friend Mikey Day is putting an 07K in his. That's the same engine that's going in my Golf. That's very cool. Okay guys, the last 2 cars on this list were honestly a toss-up, and it really could have gone to either of them. So coming in second, just because you're gonna end up spending a little bit more money than number 1, is the Nissan 350Z. We love them here, don't it? It's one of the best chassis I've ever driven. They're cheap. The VQ is very decent out of the box as long as you don't try and twin turbocharge it. You can do suspension, wheels, tires, brakes, a seat, and you have yourself a race car. Before we went totally crazy with Highcar. Highcar was one of the best cars I've ever driven. I loved it. It was an amazing canyon car. And there's a reason that almost everybody who drifts has one for a practice car. This is the 240 SX of today. because 240s are too expensive, and this chassis is better. Top of the tree this week, the king of the hill this week, the best project car, which isn't a Miata, is the incredible
BMW E36.
This bad boy was made between 1990 and 2000, but that's just where the story begins. Ever since it was born, people have been modding the E36. It really is one of the most customizable cars that you can buy. And the reason people put so much faith in them is because of how solid a base they are for mods. The chassis is outstanding. Literally everyone who drives them say that they drive like a dream. And with a couple of really quick and inexpensive suspension mods, maybe some coilovers, some stiffer up stuff, some nice tires, not only will it look amazing, it'll totally transform the driving experience. Now there's limitless trim levels and specs for this car. They made it for 10 years, but you wanna try and get one with a 6-cylinder. Between all the different engine codes, it can get a little confusing. You got M50, M52, S50, S52. But no matter how you cut it, BMW is really good at making straight 6 engines because they've been making straight 6 engines since the 1930s. And straight 6 engines are sick. Like I said before, the reason that this car is at #1 over the 350Z is because one, they're cheaper, and also this is a video about awesome project cars that aren't a Miata, and BMW literally made a Miata version of the E36. It's called the Z3. It looks great. It's really fun to drive. There's 2 parked outside right now. It's basically a 3 Series without a roof. So if you insist on looking like my stepmom on the highway, you might as well do it with a legendary straight 6 under the hood. The Miata only's got 4 cylinders. I'm out. Listen up, class! I've been asked to come to you today to talk to you about a thing called Bundle. And we're offering different themed packages at an extreme discount! Stop laughing. Stop laughing, Jesse. This is serious. We've got the starter pack, the Buff Horses bundle, the Lightning bundle, the Boost Creeps bundle, the Mo Power Baby bundle! Guys, this is an insane opportunity. Once in a lifetime, really. To get a great deal on an amazing collection of Donut Media merchandise. So go to donutmedia.com and get yourself a bundle. Rep the set. This is really exciting. I love you guys. You know what? I knocked Miatas in this episode, but they really are phenomenal cars. And there's a reason that we made an entire show revolved around modifying one. To check out that show hosted by my good friend Zach Job, click this link right here. If we missed anything that would be on your list, I want to hear about it. Let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That's the best way for us to know that we're doing well. Follow me on Instagram at JamesPumphrey. I love you.